Last year,
There it is.
got the grandson home from the weekend. I got in the kitchen. Everybody's got their suits on. Where's that water coming from?
I'm not nearly drunk enough for this yet.
We'll be drunk enough. All right, we'll be on in what time is it? Like 1 minute. Here from the Village Bar.
Oh, yeah.
8 years. It's not a bigger one. 18 foot. Now, we're going to have to dig into our backyard is kind of slow. He's like, I'm not sure.
Tyler, come here. Say hi.
1
minute. Here from the Village Bar. Hey, you can't do that.
Hi, everyone.
Is that all you're going to do?
I don't know.
All right, we'll call you over later. All right,
All right.
it's 8:30.
Close enough.
So you got Scuba Steve here with DLH. We were at the taping of, well, not the taping, what the hell was it?
Review party.
The review?
Reveal?
The reveal party for Bar Rescue last night. And generated a ton of comments. And so we figured, I didn't feel like writing anything today. So we thought this would be the easier, and with me it's always the lazier way out. So we're going to respond to, we had a bunch of people write in on Facebook. I had a bunch of comments that came in through Hit That Dive. So what we're going to do is I'm going to throw them out. DLH far more opinionated than I am. Kevin, what's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. Hey, come in and say hi.
What's up, bud?
For those at home, Kevin, owner, Mr. Butts, Mrs. Butts, South Omaha, give yourself a plug. Because I got to find.
What do you want me to say?
Say anything you want.
Grab a beer. All right, so here's the first comment we got. It says, we have thousands, and feel free to comment in on here as well. I know people can write in. We have thousands of bars throughout the good old US of A that sincerely want and need help. The bell ringer, really, now here's where it got really nasty today. I could say that fat, lazy thing with her washed out hair extensions and 10 pounds of makeup needs a gym, not a bar. So I will say if she wants the bar to be profitable, stay out of it. Her husband, Mr. Military, should be ashamed of himself. And that came up a lot today, too.
Yes.
People were saying this guy should be ashamed of himself. Most people are proud of the military, but they hated, what's his name?
I don't remember his name.
I'm kind of blank. I smell bankruptcy, divorce, AA, and their future. And that's right after the lawsuits. All right, so what do you think?
Well, I think they were really nice. We got to meet them. Great people. I mean, but the show is fake. I mean, there was no bell ringer. There was no any of that, you know. And so it's like they do things for the purpose of TV. And you know, there was a bigger crowd in there probably than there would normally be, just because it was at this place. And like Steve said earlier, you know, their business this week is probably just going to be double than it ever has been, just for that fact. Like in the bell ring thing, I mean, they do that on purpose. I mean, they brought a prop in, and I've never seen in all my life of going to bars or anything like that, I've never seen an owner act the way they portray them on Bar Rescue. Like, I've never seen that. It's all staged. It's all fake. It's really stupid. Does it make for good TV? Absolutely.
Did you hate that bar?
No, I would go back. I
Did
thought
you
it
go
was.
back?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you got a mason jar of beer, and the thing was, you know, I don't know how big it was. It was huge. Probably it was well over 16 ounces.
16. It's like 25.
That's what I mean. I'm saying it was well over
it's like a
16,
mini
like your
picture.
normal beer, and it was $3.50. You know, so for what they did, I mean, it was a nice place. I mean, was it a dive bar? Absolutely.
Oh, it's a dive. It's a complete dive. It's not for everybody.
But was it kind of, you know, stop in there, you know, and kind of feeling comfortable? Probably.
All right, let's get to the Facebook questions. All right, the first one comes from you. Were those beers really that big and that cheap?
Yes.
Yeah, they were huge beers. $3, can't go wrong. It was good stuff. What's in the O shot?
I did not even ask.
That came from Morgan Blaney. Morgan, we don't know what was in it.
Yeah.
We did a lot of shots last night.
Yeah, they were walking around, you know, selling like dollar shots or whatever. as far as asking what was in it, you know, and like how they portrayed, I can't tell you what's like. I guess we never really asked. I mean, we probably could have, and I guarantee they would.
Show everybody your shirt too, by the way.
Yeah, this is the shirt that they had. Got to go opposite.
All right. So the next question, Jacob, why did they take down their Facebook page? I'll answer that one. Some of the stuff I read today, and there's a bar rescue review page. People are nasty. I mean, just look. I don't know those people. We met them yesterday for the first time. Some of the stuff that was written about them is just. I mean,
well, and
I don't blame them for taking it down. Quite frankly,
yeah. I mean, you know, it's going to get bombarded with, you know, just harassments or, you know, I mean, and I'm not saying all of it's going to be harassments, but it's just a lot to take in right now, and I can see probably why they did that.
The people that drink the dive bar or the bar rescue Kool-Aid are crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fake. It's not real TV. John Tapper doesn't help these bars out, but nobody seems to get that. So whatever.
No, yeah, like
this is why we're here. Go ahead.
No, I agree. I think, I mean, it's just one of the things where.
Now, somebody wrote in, it doesn't matter if the whole show was staged. I would never go there after seeing that show. And I would agree. Look, if you're not into dive bars, you're not going to like that place.
No.
We're in the Village Bar, which is the Hit That Dive Bar of the year. I would say if you're kind of into dive bars and you like to go to a place that's relaxing, come here.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, it's just not even about like the OFace. Like we went into Sorties, which is in Bellevue, which is, you know, we were in Omaha, Nebraska, and we were in Council Bluffs across the river, Council Bluffs, Iowa yesterday. But Sorties is in Bellevue, which is a suburb of Omaha, just down south, and we stopped in there one night, just after the whole deal, not for the taping or anything like that. We just stopped in there. There was nothing fancy about it. Like, the show did not make me want to go in there. I mean, it's just, I didn't like the bar.
All right, next question. This is the biggest question of the night. Was the initial fight staged? We know for a fact that it was because they told us last night.
And they were both there.
And they were both
like best friends.
They're best friends. Now, what had happened was, and Amanda was supposed to get fired no matter what, so they promoted her to general manager a couple of months before,
right,
with the intent of firing her. Since she said she already knew she was going to get fired, it was her idea to tell the producers, what the heck, if I'm going out, you're going to throw me out on this show, let's have a fight. So it was her idea. The producers went along with it. Obviously, from what I've seen today, from the responses just we've gotten, the fight was a good way to go. Bar Rescue, if you're watching, have more girls fighting, apparently. Yeah. People seem to really dig that. Jeff Abramson wrote in, are they closed? No, they're open.
No, and I don't see them closing. I don't think they're going to close the way it is. In most of these places that they pick, like I know for a fact that Steve was telling me, you know, Bar Rescue got a hold of him when they were talking about coming to Omaha, asked, you know, because they read his blog, you know, he's been to a lot of dive bars, you know, and I've been to a lot of, you know, different dive bars too. Nice. No, you don't. You're actually cleaned up very nice. Pretty impressive.
Thank you.
But, like, he gave him a list of bars that, you know, actually do need help.
And they're not going to help the bars that need help. I mean, they're either going to help the ones that need to be profitable, first of all. Second of all, there was a script written, I'm sure, back in a production meeting with Bar Rescue months ago that said, look, we need to, when you're out scouting around, they talk to more than 200 bars around town. When you're scouting around, find us a white trash one. Find us one where, and I'm not classifying that as a white trash bar. It is made out of a double white trailer.
It is, that's true.
That is a fact. It is a double white trailer. Well, and the people in there were used for ratings, and which the story was. Bar Rescue and I go back to last June when they first contacted me. I thought this is what they were going to do, so this isn't surprising. Look, they got great ratings out of it. All right, next question. Laura Perkins, who actually won the shirt. So those that wrote in on Facebook, she had a long question. She had a lot of good points. She said, so my question is, and this is really the biggest question of the night. If it's really scripted and there was never a plan to rescue the bar, how did Spike TV talk them into making themselves look so bad? And I think that's one I struggle with. You know, and I can't speak for other people's reasons. And I'm sure that you see the potential to make money or be famous, and you just follow their lead and their direction. And you're generally allowed to be really loud, like the guy at Sorties. You know, the bell ringing thing they totally made up to make Karen look lazy. And again, I got accused of being best friends with the people that own the OFace.
Yeah, no, and
we'd never met him until yesterday.
That was we both walked in, and that was the first time I'd been, the first time he's been there, and first time I ever met him. And we sat there and we had a few beers first before they, and then finally they came over right before the show was starting and kind of talked about, we did this live stream last night, and that's the first time I met him.
And for those that don't remember, the OFace Bar and I did not have a good relationship for a long time. It was pretty ugly for a while online on Facebook. For those that remember that, I mean, we were calling each other some pretty rotten names.
Yeah,
actually, I don't call people names, but they were calling me a rotten name here.
Well, yeah.
Just the people that hung out there. But even the guy that wrote in and caused a lot of fuss a few months ago came up to me afterwards and said, "Hey, you're welcome in this bar anytime." I mean, they're stand-up people, and I know nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear that we hate the place or it's an awful place, nobody would go there. Look, we were treated like...
It was like any other. I mean, they were not unprofessional. Everyone there was having a good time. And like I said, I mean, I was just we were just doing this, and I was kind of helping out a little bit, but I was just a regular patron, and I didn't have any complaints.
Well, Joe Goligoski said if they actually agreed to do those things, i.e. it was scripted, they look a lot worse than if it wasn't scripted. And I think they probably agreed to make television, much like pro wrestling or The Bachelor or Super Nanny. Are the people portrayed in those shows really that way? No. They get talked into something, they get promised riches, they get promised fame. None of that really pans out. In the case of the OFace, a lot of people are writing in saying, "I'll never go there." My guess is most people weren't going to the OFace anyway.
No.
People, for those, if you're not watching from Omaha, if you live in Omaha, you don't go to Council Bluffs for whatever reason. That bridge is like a moat. Nobody wants to go over the Missouri River.
Unless you want to gamble, then you can go to Council.
Or dog racing.
That's about it.
The people writing in from out of town, I guarantee you're probably never coming to Omaha. So, it's easy to sit, and we had a guy from New Jersey, had people from Illinois today writing and taking shots at Council Bluffs, which is what we do. We're allowed to because we live here.
Yeah.
The rest of you just shut up.
And I've been there. So
it's fine. For those that know the state of ours, counts Kentucky around here. Somebody wrote in, I recall the OFace failing at an attempt to open a second location. True or not? That's actually turned out to be true. 72nd and Pacific. Wendy from Maloney's wrote in or sent me a text message today and said they did open one briefly. So there were 2 OFaces in Omaha for a while. Did not know that. Don Nichols, the third. How you doing? Taking down the Facebook page after the show aired. A lot of people are really just sort of put off that the Facebook page went down. We talked about it earlier. At some point, it became just so personal. Such personal attacks on people that they never met. Things are getting cranked up here in the Village Bar, too. I would have done the same thing. I don't know that I would have taken it down. I'm
I'm sure
by trade.
Like I said, it's with all... Steve put it up on, his hitthatdive.com website, his Facebook page, his Twitter account, and he's been having, I've been reading the comments all day long, and even if you go to Twitter and you just search hashtag bar rescue or anything like that, you can read all the comments that people are putting, and it is absolutely ridiculous.
Hey, somebody can write in on this one. Matt Johnson just wrote in and asked, do they still have free hot dogs on Sunday? Well, that was another thing, too. We don't know the answer to that, because I've never been there.
I never asked. I don't know if and those big beers do catch up with you a little bit.
We got a little
so
loopy.
We might have
slightly drunk.
And they might have mentioned that, but
well, that
piece of information I didn't take home. So
the part with them burning the pizzas and stuff, I asked.
That was the only food I knew they had because they did say they had pizzas.
Now, I asked a bunch of the regulars there. I said, "How often do they burn pizzas here?" And the answer was never. So again, those of you that think this is 100% real, Taffer and the boys sacrificed the Tombstone Pizza for the betterment of television everywhere.
I've probably burned more pizzas after the bar than they have because I tend to fall asleep on my couch.
All right, what else we got here? Why did they take down their Facebook wall? I know the show didn't go as as they please, but it's a coward to take down their page. I mean, don't sign up for the show if you're afraid of the backlash. And
I don't think they were afraid of it. I just think it was just going to get overloaded.
And here's my thing: we left there last night, and they were pretty psyched about what was going on. Their phones were going nuts. The place was jumping. It was a good time. And then the sort of dive bar crazies got involved. People from out of the area just writing in, and it's one thing to say, look, it looks like your bar sucks. It looks like you should do this. But I mean, people writing in about people's appearance and how they, that's not how they act. That was television. So it was,
And I mean, and like last night, the people that were there to watch it, I mean, it was a diverse crowd, and I mean, like I said, I had a good time with it. I thought it was fun.
All right, there's a couple other on here. We keep losing our thing. Technical difficulties here in the Village Bar.
It might still be recording, but we can't see it, so we don't know.
Oh, somebody asked if they showed us an actual script. So no, those that keep harping on. I don't think there was a script. I don't think it was like an episode of Cheers where Norm says this and then Woody says this, and then what I think is they have sort of the framework of what they want the story to be told.
Right.
And for those that know, Bar Rescue was all over Omaha for months. Their casting crew, not their producers, they have people that cast these things, called me or sent me an email. So they were looking for this. Now, again, the big question is, why would somebody sign up and do that? That's only Doug and Karen. Is that his name?
I don't know.
Oh, I mean, only they can answer that question. In fact, I'm going to hopefully shoot a YouTube video over there this week to get the real answers. I know the World Herald wants to try and scoop me on this. This is another thing that came up today. Thank you to the World Herald for finally admitting that I do a good job of scooping them on every bar story in town. So that was sort of a proud moment.
We're one step ahead, it seems like, from the Omaha.com people.
All right, so we've been on 15 minutes. So anything, we're gonna end it. We're gonna wrap it up here. What's your final takeaway from Bar Rescue for people that say they have what's coming to them, they deserve to be treated like garbage, they're disgusting people that run a horrible bar?
Well, I've watched the show prior to them coming here, and so for me, like when I watch these other bars, like in the previous years, that's been on for how many seasons, or whatever, I've watched all those, and I like watching the show because it's just ridiculous. But until they actually come to your town or they come close to you or anything like that, and you actually realize the production and all that, and the stageness and all that, like that they actually do, I'd say you kind of got to keep your opinion. I mean, everyone got an opinion, but I mean...
All right, wait, we got a news flash. Just heard from Guy Incognito.
Okay.
So for those that don't know, Guy Incognito, and what you hear over here is a skee ball machine. That's fine.
You're trying to win some free beers.
You win free beers on the skee ball machine. So Guy Incognito is actually the guy that went around and did all the reporting for Hit That Dive. I've never met him to this day, but he wanted to know, is it true that Bar Rescue left materials behind that they were going to use to renovate? That is definitely the rumor that I had heard. There's so much stuff around there anyway.
Yeah,
it's right across the street from where an old Griffin Pipe just closed down. For those that don't know in town, Griffin Pipe's no longer in operation. But it's right across from a pipe factory. There's a lot of shit all over there.
Yeah.
But the rumor is from a couple of different people that, yes, they did leave all the stuff there. So maybe there was an intent to rebuild that bar. I'll never buy that for a million years.
I don't know. Yeah, like I said, and who knows what their mentality was, like the owners, if they really wanted to be saved or if they just wanted, to be put on the map. I mean, that's left up in the air, like, for them to answer. I can't answer that, but...
All right, so before we go, Spring Stumble this year, for those that know, it's the Omaha's big annual dive bar crawl that Hit That Dive runs. We will be going to the OFace Bar. That will be one of the stops. For those of you that want to check it out, that want to see a part of now Omaha, Council Bluffs, Iowa history, we will be taking a bus to a lot of bars. But the OFace Bar is definitely going to be a stop. If you're curious and you have an opinion of what you think the place is like, I will encourage you to sign up, because it is not what you're going to think you're going to see at all from the minute you walk in, including where the bar is situated, which is to the left Right, guy incognito? I thought it'd be in the back of the bar.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
All right. Plus, we're also right in front of the bathroom. So, unless there's anything else, wait, hang on. Turn around, show the back of your shirt.
all right.
All right. So there it is. Everybody, thanks for joining in. We'll do this again, and there will be actually a full write-up of our experience for those that missed this. Bar Rescue's nonsense. It's made up. It's good television. People like it.
And I mean, there are real factors to it. You know, I mean, the bars do get, you know, new glassware, and they get new, I mean, and there are positives to it, you know. But
and for
as
those
far
that are,
as reality TV, I mean, it's pretty absurd.
And the next bar that's coming up in Omaha in 2 weeks is Oasis. I talked to that owner. It actually worked for him. So there's going to be a whole different scenario that comes up in 2 weeks. For those of you that want a spoiler, Oasis, the guy said it worked for him, and I don't think anybody got fired. And I think somebody did actually puke in the bathroom on the stress test because there was an old juice that they used to make a drink. So somebody vomits live on Bar Rescue in 2 weeks. So you will want to tune in for that. Other than that, join us down here at the Village Bar. We'll probably be here for another, couple of beers and a few pickled eggs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. We're out.
See ya.